A war broke out like thunder over the village, sudden, loud, and unstoppable. Nobody could have predicted that just a couple of days after the chief's birthday celebration, the people who danced, rejoiced, and sought comfort in their partner's arms would be sending off the men as warriors to go fight while the women and children try to make their way over to surrounding villages to seek refuge. Maya couldn't leave because of the special gift she had. She was a healer, inheriting this gift from her ancestors and the gods of her land. She was requested by the chief's personal entourage to remain behind, and she would be needed to be here to help with the patching of the wounded warriors when they returned from the fighting and protecting the land. She was alone. She was scared. The rain had just started to fall when Maya met Elijah. She ducked into Mama Put's restaurant to escape the storm, shaking the water from her coat like a wet dog. Mama Put's was the place where the local men would get fresh grilled bush meat and palm wine from the best palm wine tapper in the village. Elijah sat by the window, palm wine in his hand, reading a worn-out poetry book. Their eyes met, hers curious, his kind. "Mind if I sit here?" Maya asked after noticing that the only place available to sit was at his table. "Please," Elijah said, sliding his things aside to make space. That is how their short-lived love story started. All Maya and Elijah had was 4 weeks. 4 weeks where he took her to his favorite places, such as to the hot springs where people went to soak in the cleansing waters whenever they felt uneasy, to the mountainside to gaze on the vast lands of their people, and to one of the village waterfalls where you also always find peace and serenity in just the sound of the water falling. He taught her how to play the African flute and how to cook his favorite stew that his mother makes. It's like she had known him her entire life. "I have never felt something so certain," Maya whispered one night, curled in his arms on his grass mat. He pulled her closer as they slept. In the morning, he got word that his grandmother, who lived in the next village, was on her deathbed, and that he had to rush over to her because she was requesting to see him. There was something that she had to tell him before she went to be with the ancestors. He hurried and packed his clothes. "I shall be back in a couple of days. You can stay in my place. I will find you here when I return." "I love you," Elijah said. Maya just stood there. She did not know how to respond. She had only known him for 4 weeks, but she felt the strong urge to say it back. As she was about to say it back, he told her not to say it back if she felt like she was not ready. Maya stayed in his place and waited for word from Elijah. Minutes turned into hours and hours into days. Maya didn't understand why Elijah was not communicating with her, but she assumed that the worst had happened to his grandmother. Maya thought that maybe Elijah did not want to communicate because of the grief, so she waited on him. 2 weeks went by with no word from Elijah. Maya was about to leave his hut. She had just finished having her bath at the back of the hut when she walked over to the front and found a man trying to open the door. It was a man claiming to be Elijah's best friend. Maya asked if she could help him, and he said he was here to pack up Elijah's items. His family will come pick them up. Maya didn't understand. He further went on to explain how Elijah's life was claimed during the battle that the village is currently fighting. He was caught by other warriors when he was trying to cross over to the next district, and they took him to the battlefield to go fight and protect his people like the other men were doing to fight. He did not even last a week. He was killed instantly. Maya's knees gave up from under her. The news was too much. She woke up in a hut that looked very familiar to her. It was a healer's hut where she worked. The senior healer explained that she had fainted from hearing bad news about a man whose hut Maya was living in. He further on went to congratulate her on her pregnancy. Pregnant, Maya repeated. She didn't know how to process this information. She was neither sad nor happy. She was just numb. Maya grieved like a widow even though there had been no ring around her finger. She was exhausted, crying more than usual, and her body felt unfamiliar. She didn't know who to turn to because her family had left at the start of the war. She returned to Elijah's flat only to find it empty. They had cleared the place out. Maya curled herself up in the corner where he would lay his grass mat to sleep at night and wailed. At this moment, she really needed to be in Elijah's arms. Maya had returned to her hut. She had not spent that much time away, but her hut did not feel like it did before she met Elijah. She sat on her tree stump, and she started to think of what she was to do next with her life. She was about to become a mother and a father to her baby. She had to break this news to her parents. That was going to be very tasking because she knew the type of people her parents were. But it had to be done. She called her parents and told them what happened. Maya's family was horrified. Her mother wept silently, while her father didn't speak for a moment. Her father then went on to say, "You let a man leave you with shame. What kind of girl are you?" Those words cut deep. Maya felt like she didn't ask for this to be her life. Maya's father told her to inform Elijah's family and leave him out of the bastard's life. She tracked down Elijah's family and asked if she could meet up with them. They gave Maya their address in the next village and told her that she could come over on the Saturday. It was only the start of the week. This was going to be a long week for Maya. She had been practicing, trying to memorize the speech she was going to give the moment she meets Elijah's family. It was time for Maya to meet the family of the man who left her without a word. When she got to their home gate, she felt the beating speed of her heart increase. Anxiety. The dogs barked and came to the gate. A little boy also approached the gate and shouted at the dogs. They scattered immediately. The little boy opened the gate for Maya and took her to sit under the big tree located in the center of the compound. She took a seat on the bench for a moment, trying to catch her breath. She heard the door squeak open towards her left side. Maya turned to look. Maya saw a tall, dignified woman who wore grief like a silk shawl. She just stood there, and a man peered from behind. "Tell her to enter," he said. The woman looked at Maya and gestured with her hand that Maya should enter the house. Maya entered, and before she was offered a seat, Elijah's mother asked Maya what she wanted from them. Maya, in a low tone, told his family that she was pregnant. Elijah's mother's and father's facial expressions changed. They looked disgusted. "Why are people so cruel? We just lost our son, and you are here blurting out that nonsense. Don't you women get tired?" Maya did not understand sorry. She blurted out, "You are the third woman this week to claim such. Allow us to grieve in peace. Actually get out of our house." Maya was pushed out, pale and not fully comprehending what had just happened. "When the thing is born, you bring it over for us to see if indeed this baby belongs to this family. Until then, don't bother us." Maya heard the door slam behind her after walking out. She could not go far before crumbling to the ground to cry. She just kept pondering over the fact that there were other women who came to report the same thing. She really did not know who she got into bed with, but one thing she knew was that she had a child to raise. The market was alive with chatter, the clinking of coins, and the smell of roasted maize. Maya adjusted her son's position on her hip, eyes scanning the stalls for fresh tomatoes. Then she froze. Just behind the crowd, a man lifted his head. The sunlight struck his face and her world stopped. It was Elijah, the man she had buried in her heart, the man whose death she had once wept over, the man everyone swore was gone forever. His hair was dreaded, his shoulders broader, but the curve of his jaw, the tilt of his smile, it was him. Her breath caught in her chest. No, it cannot be. As his eyes swept over the market and locked with Maya's, recognition flared between them, sharp and undeniable. That moment confirmed it for Maya. Elijah was alive. What do you think Maya must do next? Please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you later.